Imagine this for a second. You step into a place that's supposed to be totally private, right? A hospital. Maybe you're a patient, maybe you work there, you're feeling vulnerable. You expect total privacy. But what if that feeling, that expectation, was just completely shattered, secretly? What if someone was recording you? Today, we're doing the deep dive into a really alarming case. It involves a former hospital worker, Sanjai Syamaprasad, and covert surveillance inside a healthcare setting. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it really touches on a lot of things. Technology, obviously, but also trust and how the legal system handles these kinds of violations. We got Syamaprasad. He pleaded guilty, admitted to recording thousands, potentially thousands of people. But the sentence he received, that's where it gets complicated.
Exactly. And that's what we want to unpack here. We need to understand how this happened, the sheer scale of it, and what the fallout looks like legally, personally. Okay, let's unpack this. First off, the numbers here are just mind-boggling. We're potentially talking about up to 13,000 people affected. Patients, staff members.
13,000. It's huge.
And it wasn't like a one-time thing. This was happening over almost a year, right? Between July 2023 and April 2024.
That's right. A long period. And it was targeted. 2 specific places within the Northwell Health system, the Sleep Disorder Center and the STARS Rehabilitation Center, both in Manhasset.
So, not random.
Definitely not random. It points to a systematic effort, not just an isolated incident.
And the method. This is the part that really gets me. He used tiny cameras, but they were disguised.
As smoke detectors.
Smoke detectors, things you see everywhere and barely notice. And he put them in 9 different bathroom stalls.
9, yes. Think about the logistics there. He apparently used Velcro dots to mount them.
Velcro. So easy to move around.
Exactly. Easy to reposition them during his overnight shifts.
Yeah.
And the goal seemed pretty specific, capturing activity near toilets and showers.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then, end of the shift, he'd transfer the footage onto SD cards.
Which raises a huge question, doesn't it? How easy is it to miss something like that? A camera disguised as a smoke detector.
It's incredibly difficult, often. I mean, these things, smoke detectors, clocks, chargers, they're just part of the background noise.
Right. You're not looking for a hidden lens.
Exactly. Especially not in a hospital bathroom. You have a baseline level of trust. You assume privacy. People aren't on high alert for covert surveillance in that kind of setting. It's a perfect blend of, well, disguise and exploiting that inherent trust.
So how did it all come tumbling down? How did they find out?
Well, partly it seems he made a mistake trying to get rid of evidence.
Oh.
He apparently threw a broken camera and a memory card into a dumpster behind a CVS.
Not exactly subtle.
Not very. But even with that attempt, investigators managed to recover quite a bit. Over 300 videos, they said.
300 videos. But I read something about identifying victims being hard.
Extremely hard.
Yeah.
That's a major challenge here. Out of all those videos, potentially thousands of recordings, they could only definitively identify 5 victims.
Only 5. Wow.
Yeah. And tragically, one of those 5 was a child.
Oh, that's awful.
It is. So the charges reflected the confirmed evidence. 5 counts of unlawful surveillance for those 5 victims, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence.
And he pleaded guilty eventually.
He did, though apparently he initially pleaded not guilty, changed his plea later on.
Okay, so 5 confirmed victims, but potentially thousands affected. The scale versus the charges feels misaligned somehow.
It does, and that leads us right into the most controversial part of this whole thing.
The sentence.
The sentence. Despite everything we've discussed, the number of potential victims, the location, the violation of trust, he received 5 years probation. No jail time.
5 years probation? That seems incredibly light. What was the reaction to that?
Pretty strong. The Nassau County District Attorney, Ann Donnelly, was very vocal about her disapproval.
Wanted jail time, right?
Absolutely. Her office had recommended consecutive prison terms, 1 to 3 years per count of unlawful surveillance. She argued the plea deal and the resulting probation sentence just didn't reflect the seriousness of what he did.
Yeah, I think I saw a quote from her saying something like, "This case deserved jail time."
That's the one. It really highlights this tension you sometimes see between what the legal system delivers as an outcome, maybe based on plea deals or evidentiary challenges, and what the public or even prosecutors feel is actual justice.
So why do you think it ended up being probation? I mean, given the DA's stance, the scale, what factors might lead a judge to that decision?
Well, look, we can only speculate on the judge's specific reasoning, right? But generally, in cases like this, several things might be at play. A lack of prior criminal history is often a big factor.
Okay.
Plea bargains themselves are designed to resolve cases without lengthy trials, which means compromises. And maybe, just maybe, the difficulty in identifying more victims played a role. Proving harm on a mass scale when most victims are unknown is legally complex.
Right. It's harder to argue for maximum penalties for thousands if you can only legally prove 5 were victimized.
It can be, yeah. It doesn't lessen the violation for those thousands, but it creates hurdles within the current legal framework. It can leave everyone feeling like the outcome doesn't match the crime's true impact.
And the impact isn't over, is it? There's ongoing legal action?
Definitely not over. There are now civil lawsuits, class action lawsuits filed against both Syamaprasad and against Northwell Health, the hospital system.
Okay, so the hospital is being sued too.
Yes. And Northwell has sent out notices to those roughly 13,000 people we mentioned. Basically, anyone whose records showed they might have used those specific restrooms during that time frame.
Trying to notify potential victims?
Right. But here's another layer. The attorneys handling those civil cases, they actually think the real number of people affected could be even higher than 13,000.
Higher? Wow.
Yeah. So you have this huge group of people, many of whom might never know for sure if they were personally recorded, living with that uncertainty. That's a long-lasting kind of harm.
It really is. This whole deep dive, it just underscores the absolute shock of this kind of violation, especially where it happened. And then the legal outcome. It leaves you thinking. It shows how fragile that sense of privacy can be, even in a place you trust implicitly, like a hospital bathroom.
Absolutely. And maybe the final thought to leave people with is this. Beyond legal specifics, beyond the probation versus jail time debate, what does this case say about privacy now? In a world with tiny cameras, pervasive tech, how easily can our basic sense of security be undermined? And what does it mean for our trust in institutions, hospitals, workplaces, when a breach this profound happens and the outcome feels disproportionate? It's definitely something to think about as you just, go about your day.